Hello, everyone. This is Financial Literacy Made Simple with Miss Rodriguez. And today we're going over Introduction to Credit and Debt, which go hand in hand. So, first, let's talk about credit. How do you build and maintain good credit? There's certain factors that they look into whenever they're calculating your credit. They're looking at your payment history. So, have you been on time with all of your payments? They're looking at your credit card usage. So, do you have low credit card usage or high credit card usage? Derogatory marks. So, do you have anything in collections, anything unpaid? Your credit age. So, how long have you had your loans for? The total number of accounts, and any hard inquiries. Credit is a little bit weird. When you look at your credit score, meaning you have a hard inquiry done on your credit score, it actually makes your credit go down. So, what is good credit? So this is just a general chart for reference. The higher your score is, the better off you are. That's because there's certain benefits to having good credit. It gives you access to loans, so things like car loans, house loans, personal loans. It gives you access to credit cards. So banks are more likely to give you a loan when you have better credit. And not only are they more willing to give you a loan, they're willing to give you a lower interest rate on those loans. And trust me, you want that lower interest rate because over the life of your loan, it might save you thousands of dollars. And it also gives you easier approval whenever you're looking for rental housing. So even if you're not ready to buy a home yourself, if you are renting, it's still better to have that good credit score so that you can get approved whenever you're applying for rental housing. So, a couple credit management tips: pay on time every single time. So, all loans that you have out there, so your credit card loans, your house loans, car loans, make sure you're paying them on or before the due date. Now, I know that it's not possible for everyone to pay it all off at one time. Life happens and you might not have everything you need to pay off that credit card, but make sure that you're making at least the minimum monthly payment every single month. Make sure you keep your credit utilization low. So, for example, a 50% credit utilization, that's way too high. If your credit limit is, let's say, 1,000 and you spent $500 on it, that's a high credit utilization. If your credit limit is 1,000, but you're only using about $100 of it, that's a low credit utilization. So, the lower you keep that utilization, the better off you are. Pay in full when possible. So I know that that's not always possible, but if you are able, pay off those credit cards, pay off your debts as soon as possible. The longer you keep debt, the more interest that will accrue and the more money you will lose out by holding on to that debt. Lastly, make sure you monitor your accounts and your credit score. So if you're not regularly checking your credit cards, your loans, your debit cards, all of these accounts, make sure that you get into the habit of doing so. If it helps, put those apps on your phone so that they're readily available for you. And your credit score. If you haven't checked your credit score in a while, take a look at your credit score. Literally pause this video right now, go to Credit Karma, take a look at your credit score. I am not affiliated with Credit Karma in any way, but Credit Karma does give you the ability to look at your credit score without having that hard inquiry. So without affecting your credit score, making it go down. Now, credit and debt go hand in hand. Credit is debt. So when you take things out on credit, now you have debt. You got to pay that credit card back. You got to pay those loans back. So how do we manage debt? I know for a lot of us, student loan debt is a huge issue. If you didn't know what you were signing up for, this is the difference between a subsidized versus an unsubsidized student loan. Subsidized student loans do not earn interest if you are still enrolled in school. So if you're still a student. Unsubsidized loans do earn interest as soon as they're dispersed. So even if you're still in school, that loan is earning interest. Student loans are not required to be paid back until after you have graduated. So you have about 6 months after your graduation date before you have to start paying back those loans. Now, if you graduated during COVID times, that 6 months has been extended. But this year, we do have to start paying it back. So make sure, if you haven't already, that you set up some sort of payment plan with your servicer to make sure that you are on time with those monthly payments because they will bring your credit score down if you miss those due dates. If you go to the studentaid.gov, they do have the different repayment plans available to you on there. So take a look, see which plan works the best for you, see what you are able to pay, and make sure that you're making those monthly payments because, again, you don't want this to bring down your credit score and affect the rest of your financial situation. There are certain debt reduction strategies out there. The first one is the snowball method, which is where you pay off the smallest debt amount first. So, regardless of the interest rate, you just look at all of your debts. So, you look at your credit cards, you look at your car payment, you look at your personal loans. You don't count your mortgage into this if you do have a mortgage, but you lay all of those loans out and you pay off the smallest one first, then you pay off the next smallest one, and so on. So snowballs until you get to the big debt. The next one is the avalanche method, which is where you pay off the highest interest debt first. Now, mathematically, this is the one that makes the most sense because those highest interest debts are accruing the most every month. So they are costing you the most. Personally, this is the one that I do. The snowball method is more for if you like crossing things off a list. So you like seeing that debt go away and it makes you more motivated, then go with the snowball method. But mathematically, the avalanche method does make more sense. And the last one is debt consolidation, which is where you combine debt into a single loan with a lower interest rate. At the end of the day, it's your debt, it's your money, and you decide what strategy works best for you. If you didn't know, there is teacher loan forgiveness. If you go to the studentaid.gov website, you can find the specifics on what is required in order to get your loans forgiven. But I just took a little snippet here and I'm going to highlight the most important parts. In order to get the teacher loan forgiveness, you have to be employed as a full-time, highly qualified teacher for 5 complete and consecutive academic years. You have to serve low-income students. And on the website, they do have a list of certain schools that would count towards this loan forgiveness. If you are a highly qualified full-time math or science teacher who teaches at the secondary school level, you can receive up to $17,500 in loan forgiveness. If you're a highly qualified full-time elementary or secondary education teacher, but not math or science specifically, you can get up to $5,000 in loan forgiveness. Check out that student aid website, see if you fit this description and if you've met the requirements because this is something you have to apply for. It doesn't just automatically get applied if you meet the requirement. All right, everyone, that is everything that I have to say about credit and debt. Thank you so much for your time. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below or if you'd like me to deep dive into any of the topics I mentioned today. Make sure to like if you found this video helpful and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of our financial literacy series. If you happen to be a chemistry teacher, I do have a TPT store called Chemistry Made Simple, which has a full year of chemistry content on there, including worksheets, labs, tests, study guides, and I also release chemistry related lectures and practice problems. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.